Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today at Juanette's Crafting Corner for my Slow Stitch Saturday. I am working on my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, and this is volume 7. Now, if you recall, this is my desk, and since I last filmed, I have added these little fabric pieces to represent where you would pull the drawer out. I decided it would be better if I had 3 drawers. And I'm thinking that I need to add something to represent the end of the desk. And I'm thinking about maybe this, just couching down this wool thread to make it look like this is the top of the desk and this is the lip of the desk. One thing that I also added was to have it look like this was coming out of one of the drawers of the desk, some measuring tape fabric trim, and I've added that, but I need to add something to designate the lip of the desk. And then I may want to also add something here, but I'm not sure if this is thick enough. So I'm going to put that aside for now. Now, our first prompt was a ginger jar with flowers. And I've told you before that I want to represent my craft desk. And I hope I don't get in trouble with Rachel and Sarah for doing something a little bit different. Now, I want to show you what I want to represent as opposed to the flowers. I bought this picture in Ireland and it sits on my craft desk and I hold pens and pencils in it. And I thought that would be fun on the desk. And now there's ink there. Oh, I feel like now I need to bring it back in to show you what my thought is. So I went on the internet and I just did some clip art of different pictures. And I've pulled up different sizes. Now that one I feel is a little bit too small. That one is definitely too small. This one seemed too big. It took up all of the desk and it felt like it was not proportioned correctly. The same thing with this one. But I think this one is going to work. And I have also pulled out some stamps from my Stamping Up days that I thought I might stamp on fabric pens and then either color them in with my ink tense colors or just to use different fabric. What I could do is also stamp them out and then enlarge them. So that's kind of my thought process for these. I've got stamps at least for that. And I have, this could be on my desk, this little ink well, or, bottle of ink. I've got scissors that I could put on there. So anyway, I'm going to put those to the side, but I pulled those off. And like I said, I've decided on, let's see, where is it? Because I cut it out exactly. Did I? Oh, shoot there, sister. Where is it? Because I cut out the picture I was going to use. That's too big. That's too big. That's too big. What in the world did I do with it? Oh my heavens. You guys know how this is when you're crafting, and where did it go? You guys are probably yelling at me. Juanette, it's there. So what had happened is it was stuck on the back of one of the stamp sets. So like I said, I've cut it out exactly, but I want this piece to be a different color. So I'm just going to take this little Fiskars trimmer and I want it to be all in one piece. So I'm going to cut this out and then I will be able to lay this piece of paper over a piece of fabric and cut it out exactly. Let me make sure my microphone's on. Yeah, it was. Oops. And if it's off just a little bit, it's not going to be a big thing. Where did I end? So yeah, I want this to be a little bit of a different color. And what I could even do is just not even have a piece of fabric here in this little, where the handle is, and just have it peeking out from the desk, because the desk will be white. So yeah, that worked out perfect. So then what I've decided to do and use for the fabric for the picture is this piece of old feed sack. Now the one that's on my desk is kind of white color. However, the desk is white and it would blend in too much. And my idea is to use this part as the lip down here. And it may be just a little bit bigger than this picture, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. And so I need to trace this, and I'm going to do it so that I can put this into a hoop. And then my plan is to take all different sizes of buttons and stitch them here. So let me grab one of my pens that when you put the heat on it, it disappears. While I was hunting for the pen, I pulled out my box of, I label them as specialty buttons or special buttons because I have buttons that are just everyday buttons. And I went ahead and pulled out the ones that I thought I would use. I needed them to be small enough so that they would all fit on the picture. Now this button here, I'm going to use that because I want them to be special. Like this button here that is the little birdhouse, that was from my sister Carrie. This button here is from my friend Christine from Create and Craft with Christine. This little box of buttons is from Pam from Pandora's Junk Journals. Look at how fun that one is. So I will go through this. There's a lot of fun ones in there, but that one I picked out just now and showed you, I think that's definitely going to be a contender. Yeah, because it's small. So thank you, Pam. This set of buttons, I like that it's different. If you can see, like this one here, even though On the white, it doesn't show, but I bought it in Italy and it's an unusual shape. It's like a cat's eye. So I decided on that. And these, I can't remember where I bought them. It wasn't here in the United States. They say they were made in France, but I like that button. So I'm going to take one of these and put it on there. But those are my buttons right there that I'm going to add. So let me just set them off to the side. And then I will sew them in, or excuse me, on this piece of fabric. Let me grab a little bowl for those buttons because I need to use this piece of paper to trace where I want to sew the buttons. And then once I sew the buttons down, then I will cut this out because it will be easier to sew them on this piece. Let's see, what should we do? I think right like that. It will be easier to sew them on this piece in a hoop. So I'm just going to trace this out. And then, like I said, that's where I know I will need to cut around it. And the other thing I need to think about doing is adding another piece of fabric here to give that a different color. So I'll probably pull something or either stitch. That's the other thing I could do, is just do some kind of stitching to make that lip there, to give it some dimension. And we're just going to come around here. And then, like I said, I will probably cut out this area here. And then you'll be able to see that it's a picture. So like I said, my idea is, because this is going to hang in my craft room, and the flowers that the prompt gives is absolutely beautiful. That is, a stunning idea. But because I want this to represent my craft room, and I don't have any vases of flowers in my craft room. So, I just, like I said, I hope I don't get in the doghouse with Rachel and Sarah by doing something different. And please, I hope this doesn't confuse people. Oh, look at that. Is that not cool? And as a matter of fact, I don't necessarily have to do that, because if I have my pens and pencils coming out there, and what I will do is, before I sew this down onto my desk, I will put the pens and pencils in here using different fabrics, and tuck them behind there so they look like they're in the picture itself. So let me pull this off. Just grab a pair of scissors. I love this button, Christine. Thank you for it. Yeah, I didn't write on here, but I'm sure you gave this to me when you gave me that whole green stitchery piece. So that's going to look pretty on there. So I'm going to stick that in there, and let's just go ahead and pull out what I had decided from Pam. Did I go ahead and throw it in there? I did. Here it is. That's the one from Pam. Is there any more that are fun? Here's another one that is, well, no, that's the same. But I'm looking for different colored ones. So yeah, I think that's good. And then let's go ahead and take one of these square ones off. Again, I like that it's a different shape because the ones that are on my picture that is on my desk that I bought in Ireland, they are different shapes. So I need to grab a pair of wire cutters and snip this here. There we go. Did I get it? Yeah. Yeah, this is a fun button. Well, come on there. Oops. It didn't want to come, does it? There we go. Come on, there. So yeah, that's a fun button. So I'll put that in there and then I will add this back to that specialty button box. I have sewed a lot of the buttons down, but there is still a couple of areas that are open. And I had forgot I have these tiny little buttons that I had bought at a store in Mesa, Arizona called Antique Needlework and Collectibles. It is mostly a needlepoint shop, absolutely exquisite shop, but I didn't want white ones. So don't forget that you can take whatever color that you want the button to be and use markers and color them. So I have an orange one and a yellow one there that I'll put in here. But what I want to do is go ahead and outline this picture with some thread before I cut it out. The reason is, as I recall this phrase quite a bit, and I've got this beautiful variegated, it's not a huge variegation, kind of a, a deep pink color of wool thread, wool type of thread that I got at the Skeen Sisters in Sydney, Australia. And so what I thought I would do is start outlining it using what's that called? Let me think, it's going to come to me. Split stitch. And then once I cut it out, then I will have to also probably do another stitch around it. And what I might do to tack it down is a blanket stitch. So let's just stitch around this. And like I said, it will help it not, hopefully it will help it not fray. So I had the best night last night. Let me tell you about it. So my daughter was having a banquet at her home for my granddaughter, who is on the high school golf team. And they were doing their awards banquet. So she was having the banquet at her house. And my daughter, who also has a dog just like my little Fiona, a soft-coated Wheaten Terrier, she didn't want the dog to be there while the banquet was going on because the dog wants to jump on everybody and be around people. And she just thought it would be better if Finn, that's the dog's name, came over here to my house. Well, Fiona and Finn are the best of friends. They love each other, they play well together, um, they chase each other, they play tug of war with each other. And so my daughter brought Finn over last night, and then when I went to bed, Finn jumped up on the bed and he decided he's going to lay up on the other side of me on the extra pillow. And then Miss Fiona slept where she normally sleeps, is down by my feet. And that crazy little girl, sometimes she sleeps right where my feet would be. And I can't like move around in the bed. I need, so I kind of have to push her out of the way, like, hey, give me some room here, girl. So every time I woke up and kind of turned over last night, there's Finn, my daughter's dog, just snuggled right up to me. And thank goodness my granddaughter had given him a bath a couple of days ago, so he was nice and clean. And I've told you, I bathe Fiona about once a week. I use a shampoo that is a professional shampoo that like a person who shows dogs uses. So I think it's pretty safe to, bathe her that frequently, but because I don't like a dirty dog in my bed. So anyway, that was fun. Oh, and so then I told my daughter, I said, well, I will bring Finn back home when I drop Pascal, my son, off at work at 9 the next day. So I dropped Finn off, and both Fiona and him know the neighborhoods. They peek outside the window and they know exactly. And sweet little Miss Fiona knew we were going to Finn's house, but she thought she was going to get to go and play there. She didn't realize I'm just dropping him off. So when I pulled up, I told my daughter, I said, well, you're going to have to come out and let Finn out of the car because I'm going to have to hang on to Fiona because otherwise she's going to jump out. And look what she did. She scratched me. Thank goodness it's not too bad, but she was trying to jump out and oh my heavens, she was a little sad that she had to come home and she couldn't play with Finn. She wanted to then be over at his house. Oh, and then my daughter, she texted me and she said, Finn was a naughty boy. I guess she had bought some Girl Scout cookies, and while she was at the grocery store, Finn got into the Girl Scout cookies and ate an entire box of them. And they were sealed. And I'm thinking to myself, Giselle, that's my daughter's name, why don't you put food up so he can't get it? I mean, I knew that when Finn was coming over that I needed to put the food up. I could not have anything laying around. And even last night when my son and I were having dinner, I had made tacos for us. When we were eating dinner, I put those tacos up and out of the way so Finn couldn't get to them, because Finn is a little bit bigger than Fiona, and so he can actually put his paws up on the counter and reach things. So yeah, I don't know why my daughter doesn't learn her lesson. She told me last week that, and again, why doesn't she learn? He ate a steak. They had steaks, and she had a leftover steak sitting on the counter on a plate, and he got into that, and I'm like, when are you going to learn there, girl, that you got to put that food away, that dog is going to get him. Oh shoot. So anyway, so yeah, so today, as I'm filming this is Friday. I always try to film my video the day before it's going to go up. And I don't have much going on. Tomorrow is my grandson, the youngest, his birthday, and I think he's turning 13. And he wanted books for his birthday gift. And he's so cute. He even sent me the link, the Amazon link. So, and I mean, it's fantastic. It makes it easy because I just was able to add those to my Amazon cart and get him, I think it's a set of 4 books that he wanted. So, yeah, I have those. And my daughter invited us to go out to dinner with them for Judson is his name, for his birthday. And this is where he picked. And this is where he's picked to eat at his birthday every year for like the last 4 years. IHOP. Now, those of you that maybe don't live here in the United States, IHOP is basically a breakfast or pancake house. It's not an expensive place to eat for sure. And I think, Judson loves pancakes. So my daughter invited us to go out to dinner with them tomorrow for Judson's birthday. And it's my son's day off. So that's nice. He's going to be able to come. So yeah, we're going to have pancakes tomorrow for Judson's birthday. And then, it must be tonight. Is it tonight, Friday night? My son-in-law and Judson, they're going on a camp out with the other young men from church. And so, yeah, and then they'll come back. I think it's just a one night, so they'll come back tomorrow, and then we'll be able to celebrate his birthday. But yeah, he's quite the character, that Judson. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. You can see the split stitches. You do a stitch, then you come back and you come in between your previous thread to the next area. So you bring you make a stitch, then you come back and split. You see here where that is? Split the stitch into the previous thread. So I'm going to continue doing this, and then I'll be back with you guys. I finished stitching all the way around it, and now I'm going to trim it up. And I'm a little bit nervous because, let me just get that in there so I don't make sure I get the thread. I'm a little bit nervous about how I'm going to stitch it onto the desk. I may just couch it down with some thread that is similar color to this. We'll have to wait and see. Now remember, what I'm going to do is first stitch some pens and pencils to have them come out of the jar. or not the jar, the pitcher. So that will be my next thing to do. And what I might do is, I don't know whether to just print some pens and pencils on some fabric using again some clip art from the internet, or to use those stamps I showed you. I'm still kind of debating on that. I love how that looks, and I think I'm going to just take a stab right here. It is already a little bit, there was a hole there, so I'm going to come in here, be extremely careful, and I'm going to trim this out because I will show you when I bring in the piece with the desk. I want this area to show through. Let's see. You just got to be careful because I definitely do not want to cut that thread there. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. Remember, I did save this piece because I thought I might put another piece of fabric back there, but I think I'm just going to leave it like that. Hopefully the thread, the stitching that I did will hold it in place so that it doesn't fray too much. And I think I'm going to come in here and trim this back just a little bit. Yeah. I will have to glue this down back here, up and out of the way when I go to stitch it on my piece. Just trim a tiny bit more. Okay, let me grab the desk and show you it, and look at how that kind of looks like that. I'm pleased with it. Well, here's what my picture looks like. And what I've decided to do as I'm looking at it, remember I said I might stitch it down with a similar color of thread, but I think I'm going to just take an ecru color similar to the outside of the feed sack and stitch it down right onto the white fabric. And so, like I said, my next thing will be having to do my pens and pencils up through here. And so that's this Slow Stitch Saturday, working on my picture, and I'm very pleased with it. I like how it's turned out. It's going to be fun to see what the other prompts are and how I can adapt them to my desk. So anyway, I will see you guys on Monday for my Medieval Mirage Botanical Journal. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.